Thank you for joining us for this episode of CNTV. I'm Brad Clonch.
And I'm Quinn Tran.
Your service, your sacrifices, and your stories are woven into the very fabric of this great tribe of ours, the Chickasaw Nation. You hold a distinction that deserves our utmost admiration.
Governor Bill Anoatubby was the keynote speaker at the Chickasaw Veterans Conference. The annual event honored Chickasaws who served in all branches of the United States military. At the conference, they were able to get the latest information about programs and services for veterans. The Chickasaw Nation also hosted the Elders Conference. More than 500 elders gathered for the two-day conference held at Windstar. The conference offered presentations and discussions on health and wellness. Elders shared their ideas and concerns as well.
Now to Davis, Oklahoma. Chickasaw youth enjoyed 4 days of Camp Survivor. It's a popular summer program that promotes wellness with all kinds of activities to get young people to think about good health in body, mind, and spirit.
So it's really fun, and I always get all the connections that we have with everyone. It's really enjoying, and I make new friends every single time I come here.
Participants also engage in cultural activities like archery and learn about healthy nutrition. Camp Survivor is for youth ages 9 to 13. This is another camp that the Chickasaw Nation hosts in the summer for kids. As part of Environmental Camp, children explored the Tishomingo Wildlife Refuge to learn about biology, conservation, and sustainability.
I'm hoping that they'll be able to realize how important it is to preserve and take care of things around us. Everything in your environment is connected, and so for us, we're connected to the trees that grow, we're connected to the water. It's all a big life cycle, and so we're hoping that they're able to understand that and the importance of keeping it safe and preserving it for future generations.
The program also encourages youth to study and explore careers in science. We've been spotlighting Chickasaw students who are excelling in academics, athletics, leadership, and service.
Meet Quinn Smith at Chickasaw, who just earned a degree in public policy at Duke University.
I chose public policy actually because I wanted to make a difference for Native people across the U.S. and the Chickasaw Nation. With this degree, I want to create work about Native people that tells our story on our own terms. And when I work with different people from other tribal communities, that looks different than when I'm telling a story about my experience as a Native person or Chickasaw people. But the common theme that I want to talk about with my documentary and writing work is about issues that are important to Indigenous people and showing Native people from our own perspectives and our perspectives on the world, because that's something that hasn't been shown for a long time in popular media.
How has your Chickasaw heritage influenced you? Who has impacted you most?
My Chickasaw heritage influences all the work that I do and everything that I do. And the biggest Chickasaw influence in my life has been my papa. He was a painter and a sculptor and a phenomenal artist. But one thing that he never did was share his artwork with anybody. And he did a lot of work about Native people. And I definitely think that there was this fear that he felt about revealing who he was. And so I always remember growing up that I wanted to share his artwork with other people. And I think I look back on that now, and I think that that's a drive behind a lot of the work that I want to do. I want to help to make a world where people, Native people, aren't afraid to share their art and to share who they are. And then he also, helped me feel comfortable being a Chickasaw person. Beyond that, too, my aunt is a former tribal legislator in the Chickasaw Nation, Mary Jo Green. And so I'm lucky to have a family that has been heavily involved in the Chickasaw Nation. My mother has also been a really huge influence in my life, both creatively and helped me to grow as a person. So she was always really creative and always pushing me to take a more creative approach to things, whether that be an English project or looking for a way to solve a problem.
You're at Duke University, which is a top 20 ranked college in the United States. What would you say to encourage other Chickasaws about higher education?
growing up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and attending a public school, although I had a great education, I wanted to try to see if I could make an elite academic institution. It had been a dream that I had had for years. And it was really hard because no one in my family knew how to get into a big school like this, and few people in my community did too. And so the largest problem, aside from just scouring and looking for information, talking to different people and going online, was just to believe in myself. I didn't think that some person from all the way in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where few people go to a school like this, would be competitive. So I think my biggest piece of advice would be to realize that you are important and you have what it takes to achieve higher education, and that's a point of higher education too, is you don't need to apply as a fully formed person, as someone who knows it all. That's what higher education is to help with. I feel a very large connection to the Chickasaw Nation, despite being out of state, despite going to college in North Carolina. And that is in large part because of the incredible online content that the Chickasaw Nation puts out. So I'm very lucky I can learn the language and learn the culture and connect with all of these Chickasaw citizens online and see the stories that they have to share. And I really admire that the Chickasaw Nation has invested a lot of resources in that.
In the next episode, Quinn explains how he used his public policy studies, combined it with his storytelling talents to make a difference.
That part of the story next time on CNTV. Thanks so much for spending time with us.
We'll see you back here soon.